and thank you for tuning in to Know the Neo. Today I'm here with Miss Greco, the freshman reading teacher.
Hi, I am Mrs. Greco. I teach 9th grade English honors, and I like to read a lot, obviously. That's why I teach English. And I read about 75 to 100 books a year, depends on the day. And oddly enough, I like heavy metal music. I think people keep forgetting that, but that's like one of my favorite things. And I just enjoy what I do every day and being with all of my smart kiddos.
So, Miss, what inspired you to take on this career path?
When I was 16 years old, my teachers let me teach a lot, and I enjoyed doing that. And also in my 10th grade English class, I got to make a lot of really awesome projects, like websites, scrapbooks, and things like that. And that inspired me to realize how cool teaching English could be, and it didn't have to be multiple choice tests and boring stuff like that. And so between that and getting to teach, it was a lot of fun to do.
So did you want to become a teacher just so you can try and change up the curriculum to make it more enjoyable for the students?
Yes, I've always loved the idea of teaching. I didn't really stick to it until I was 18, but it was always an idea I had that I would like doing something like that.
Was this your original plan for your life?
When I was younger than 16, I wanted to be an author, and I'm working on that still on the side. It's not something that happens overnight, unlike what most people think. But it's definitely an idea that I still have that I want to carry on. But teaching ended up being the more solid plan and the one that I stuck with.
So, I know you like gaming. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yes. So my mom always got us every single system that came out when we were kids. And so I grew up playing the first Animal Crossings and all the Marios. And then as I got older, I started liking RPGs because I really enjoy stories, obviously, since I like to read. And then nowadays I play just about any kind of RPG I can get my hands on. I still am in love with Skyrim, and I like all of the Legend of Zeldas, but Overwatch takes up my Friday nights for about 5 hours. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a good way to de-stress.
That's cool. So you were talking earlier in the year about having a gaming club. Has that gone off at all?
We have done some more research because we're the first school in the district to do it. So in order for us to get through into doing the gaming club, we have to talk with more people about it. So we're trying to get that going a little bit further. We have a lot of plans in place for what club we're going to have and the way we're going to operate it. It's just getting in contact with one of them and then trying to get some funding for a gaming lab. It might be at first that we just keep it where people bring their own systems or play at home, and we set up the matches and the scrimmages and stuff like that. But we just have to work out the logistics, and we'll probably do that more this summer, so we're good to go for next year.
What kind of games would be a part of this club?
So our goal is that it at least has Smash, Minecraft, and then one of the sports ones like 2K or some of the other hockey, football, one of those as well. But things that people play a lot of. It's kind of hard because a lot of them focus on League of Legends, which isn't played as much by the students here. So we're just trying to cater games to what you guys play. And so that's the hard part, is finding a group that will support those specific games, because we know Smash is the main one that everyone wants to do.
Wow. Do you plan on getting this worked around the county?
Yes. So the county's for it. We just have to make sure that it meets their expectations and that we're not asking them for money, because they don't always like to give us that kind of thing. So we just want to make sure that we have everything that they're looking for, and then getting the funding for a lab, because they can get expensive.
That is fair. So, off the topic of gaming, what are some things that keep you motivated?
I like hobbies, so I always have to stay busy. I don't do well when I'm doing nothing, so I like to sew, paint, read, write, do gardening, anything DIY. I like to do anything that just keeps me going. I like seeing you guys learn whenever we're in the classroom, so whenever I see something that you couldn't do a couple months ago and you guys can pull it off, that's amazing. A lot of times the students don't even realize that that's something that they're doing, but they just pull off all these intense growth methods in their writing and in their work, and it's a lot of fun to see. And that keeps me going on a daily basis.
Are there any specific reason that you chose to work here at NEO?
So actually, I was asked to interview, and I didn't think that would ever be something that would have happened to me. But I interviewed, and I was in love with the idea of getting to make my own curriculum and also apply some STEM stuff. As you might have seen in the Martian unit, clearly I like science a little bit and technology, so I get to apply those things that I normally wouldn't get to do in a English class at NEO City Academy, because we're a STEM-oriented school. So I get to embrace that nerdy side that I normally wouldn't get to do.
Have you ever wished that you weren't here at NEO?
No, this is my favorite place to be, and I love coming here every day, even though I drive an hour to work every day. So it's actually been a blessing to be here. I've enjoyed literally every single day I've had, and I can't see myself going anywhere else now.
If you could tell your 15-year-old self anything, what would you tell it or tell her?
I would tell my 15-year-old self to like write more. I think that would be something that I would appreciate now because I didn't take writing as seriously until now. And the biggest part with that would be start mimicking the authors that you read, because the better that you can copy their writing style and like try that out, you're going to get stronger at writing and then stronger at everything else that you do.
Of all the different works that you've written, what's your favorite?
I'm working on one right now that's at like 43,000 words, and I'm trying to there's an April NaNoWriMo, so I'm trying to do that to add it and get it to 70,000, and then from there we'll see. It takes place in France, and it's like a weird relationship story thing, and I think it's dramatic and good, and it's a lot of fun.
Weird question, though. If you could take a trip anywhere in the world, where would you want to go?
Right now, I am obsessed with the idea of doing like a Scandinavian Europe tour. So somewhere in like Norway, Denmark, Sweden, up there, because my grandmother was from Sweden, and I think it'd be really, really cool to get to see her culture and try all of that stuff. Because like we grew up eating Swedish pancakes and Swedish meatballs. They're not like IKEA's at all, and like eating ginger snap cookies, and so it was a lot of fun to do.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be?
Honestly, right here. Like, even though I hate the weather, like, if I could live inside of, whatchamacallit, if Florida could have snow, like, that would be the best thing that I could see, is, like, if Florida had the ability to have snow, and have all this, like, cool air, I think I would really, really like that. Because right now, it's not a cool place to be. It's very hot here in Florida.
What are some things that make you angry?
So, I get angry the most whenever someone doesn't listen. I would say that would be the biggest thing. So whether I just said something and then someone says, "What did you just say?" So if somebody asks immediately after I say something like, "Hey, what was that you just said?" or "Could you repeat that?" Like, that is easily the thing that makes me the most angry, because I really do like, I think I'm effective in what I say sometimes. I know that there's always things that people could work on, but I do try my best to be like effective in what I say.
If you could do one activity, just like have an entire day to do whatever you want, what would you want it to be?
If I could do anything for a day, I would honestly just want to read, because it's one of my favorite things to do. I enjoyed whenever I went on a cruise, I had to like stay inside the cabin for a day, and I literally read 2 books, and it was like the best time I'd ever had, because it was just me and the 2 books. And like reading all these cool stories, getting to interact with characters in like other worlds. And if I could do that again, I would love to do that, because in 5th grade I read the first 5 Harry Potter books in one day, and that was like a life-changing experience to me. Because I was 10, I had nothing else to do, because my mom was like volunteering at a school, so it was just me sitting in the front office reading these books and like devouring them. And I still remember that, obviously, so that's like one of my favorite moments, was centered around then.
I'm glad you know what you like, but what's your favorite book to read?
So I absolutely love the author Sarah J. Maas, and I know that there's a lot of other students here that like her as well. Her books are these like massive fantasy books that are like 600, 700 pages each. She has like all these intense characters that are like super dynamic and like 3-dimensional, and you don't get to see a lot of that anymore. People just write characters that feel like the author themselves. But the way that she does it is like all 3 of her series are integrated with each other, whether the reader knows that or not in the beginning. So like they're all a part of each other. There's hints of the other ones in there. And it makes it a super great read. But my favorite book of all time is Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. It was written a long, long time ago, but it's literally one of my favorite things in the world. I haven't read it in a while. I heard the movie sucked. I refused to watch it, but I definitely recommend Inkheart if you are trying to get into reading.
What are some of your biggest fears?
This is going to sound so silly, but one of my biggest fears is there's 2. It's dying in a car accident or dying from cancer, because like either one of those, you don't see them coming until they're there. And so I don't know why, but like definitely a car accident. I don't know how I drive to school every day for an hour, because I'm like scared to death of like, don't like that. I don't like it.
Those are not silly at all. What's your proudest accomplishment in life?
I would say I'm very, very proud, like lately, of the conferences that I presented at in the past year and a half. It's taken a lot of work to get into them, because you have to do like this complicated process of submitting plans and research and all this stuff. So that was always stressful, is figuring out like, how do I get into this conference and then figure out how to present. I was recently at one that was 5 hours long, and it was just trying to figure out, what do you talk about for 5 hours? How do you entertain people? Because we only teach for an hour and a half every day, so how do you do that like 3 times over? So it's definitely an experience, but I'm very proud of getting to do all that.
Final question.
Yes.
Do you ever get nervous while teaching in front of your students?
I do at the beginning of the year, just because I don't know anybody, but as we go on, I literally have no concerns or questions. I think anyone would agree that the later we get in the year, the more dorky I seem to get, and it's just because I'm more comfortable in front of you guys. And so weird things start happening. There might be some dancing. There's definitely some dead bodies, and it's a crazy time.
Well, thank you for being on here today.
Thank you for having me.